Well, so the foundation is a result of me coming back. It did not exist before. Okay. And so as I kind of worked out my new identity and my new ideology, maybe is a good way to put it, in leadership. And, the groundbreaking thing for me was that my value was intrinsic. It wasn't about what I had done, my education or my performance, and that my value was the same as everybody else's. In a performance-based value system, for me to be worth more, you have to be worth less. It's a competition, right? And so that's the way I lived. I lived in competition with everyone, and it wasn't that I looked down on people per se, but in order for my identity to work, I had to be more valuable than you. I had to do more than you, perform more than you, and that ends up impacting the way you treat people. It's very nuanced. I don't know that people can always articulate that it's going on, but they know it. And so I tell people I wasn't a bad boss, but I was a boss, and I did want to be at the top of the food chain. Well, now I believe, and we believe, that everybody at Kimray is equally valuable. We're not the same. We're very different, and we have different responsibilities. I make decisions that no one else at Kimray makes. That's my role, but it's not my identity, and it doesn't change my value. And so I don't want to be respected less, but I want everybody at Kimray to be respected the same. So as I got a chance to start actually leading that way and working that way, it was phenomenal, the impact it had on our people. Kimray's always been a great place to work. We've always taken good care of our people, and we've always been very successful at what we do, but we got even more successful. And we have accomplished things in the last 6 years that just far outstrip anything that Kimray has done before. And so I started realizing that really this would be great if more people would treat their people this way. I'm never going to be able to hire everybody in Oklahoma. And so, how do we impact more people's lives? Well, we do it by impacting leaders. And so I began to see myself as maybe backing away from Kimray a little bit and working with other companies. And I meet at least once a year for a week with a group of CEOs, and we kind of pick each other's brains, and we all sign NDAs, so we can say anything. We can tell them anything that's going on in our lives, anything that's going on in our business. And since they know what it's like to be in our seat, they can give us honest feedback. And so I kind of pitched this idea, and literally everybody in the group said, no. You need to stay at Kimray. That's your platform. And you need to bring people to you and show them what you're doing. And if they get it, then they'll go back and do it. And so I came back a week later and started the Kimmell Foundation for Recovering Leadership, which is kind of off the book title. I wrote a book called Recovering Leadership. And so we called, and Kimmell's my granddad's name, so kind of hearken to our roots and what we're about. None of this would be possible if Garman hadn't done what he did and didn't have the ideals and the principles he had. So we really look to him as kind of the founder of all of this. And the idea is that we would be a community of leaders that would promote and support and help leaders lead in ways that are healthy, but most importantly, lead in ways that value people and respect people. And that way we might reach tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people. I don't know how big it'll get. It's not my problem. Things happen. So that was how the foundation got started. And really, it's very simple. We believe in a value culture. We believe that everyone's equally and intrinsically valuable. We need to act that way. That sounds really simple, and when I say it in a room full of leaders, everybody shakes their head yes, right? Nobody's going to disagree that everybody, nobody's going to say, no, some people are not valuable. No, everybody agrees that. But then when you get down to actually how you run your company, the decisions you make, the benefits, just nuanced things, that gets more complicated and more difficult, and a lot of people don't really know how to do it or what they're capable of doing. And it's easier when you have a herd, So bison, we like bison. I don't know if you noticed that there's bison around here, and there's a lot of bison in here.
It's everywhere. And it's in the entryway. It's in your room. Yeah, it's a lot.
We like bison, and for a real simple reason. Bison are interesting creatures. When I tell people that I like bison, and we're actually trying to get some bison on our property, they say, "Oh man, they're very difficult to keep and contain," which is not untrue. A full-grown bison weighs about 2,000 pounds. I don't know if you know this. They can leap over a 6-foot fence from a standing position. like deer. Have you ever seen a deer bound over a fence? That's what a bison will do. I know you wouldn't think that. They can run about 35 or 40 miles an hour if they need to. So if you think there's enough room between you and a bison and that you can get over the fence first, you're wrong on both accounts, right? But here's the thing. Bison are really not very complicated. They need three things to be, let's say, content, to stay where they are. First and foremost, they need their basic needs met, right? Food, water, that kind of stuff. And then they need to feel safe. So if they're harassed, I always find that interesting because they have no natural predators in North America except us. We're the ones who killed them all. Sometimes a pack of wolves will get a weak one or an old one. Every once in a while a bear will take down a bison, but by and large, they're fine. But other predators do harass them. If they're harassed, they will move. But then most importantly, they need community. So if you try to keep one bison in a pen, he or she is going to go looking for other bison, and they can get out of anything if they really want to. But if you meet those needs, if they have community, they feel safe, and they have plenty of food and water, they will stay where they are. The herd in Yellowstone's been there for 200 years, and they're not interested in going anywhere. Turns out we're just like that. If you think about it, as leaders, we are literally building a herd of people, right? And we would like those people to stay because we spend a lot of money and time getting them here and training them. If you're leading a company, for sure, or any organization, it's very expensive to have people come and go from your herd, as it were. So what do you have to do? Well, you need to meet their basic needs. They need to be able to take care of their families, and that's not just pay, that's benefits, that's how you treat them, that's the opportunities they have to take care of their family in various ways. They need to feel safe. And we're really good at physical safety these days. You get in a lot of trouble and it costs you a lot of money if you harm people very often. We're not good at emotional and mental safety. And we're not good at even acknowledging that there are mental health issues, and sometimes our organizations are creating those mental health issues. So we need to get a lot better at that. But if we do make people feel safe, and then if they're in community, and community is not stuffing a bunch of people in the same room, it's people literally being connected. So how do you connect people? Well, people only connect around missional things, right? They connect around things that mean something to them. So for instance, you talked about your friend that you golfed with, right? That's something that you share. You're still at some level connected with that person because of a shared interest, shared experience, right? That's how we connect. So I got 900 people here at Kimray. There's very little chance that all of them are going to have something that they're interested in that's going to connect with everybody else. So what do we have? Well, we have a mission at Kimray that everybody can connect to. Everybody's interested in making a difference. They're certainly interested in the community making a difference in their life. So that means something to them and connects with them. And then we give them lots of opportunity to make a difference in other people's lives. And we show them how even just coming to work, working efficiently, doing their jobs well, even if it's just making a valve, has impact. The valve isn't the point. The point is that we're putting food on people's tables, and we're giving money to a shelter, and we're, and we do a lot of different kinds of matching things where a lot of our community involvement and giving is triggered by our people being involved in something. So we get involved in the things they're involved in, and we help them. So because of that, we have this bigger thing that we're here doing. We're not just coming to work. We have a bigger thing. And we really do care about each other. And as you get to know people and you treat them well, they treat you well back. So now we have a herd. So we like bison. There are bison everywhere. I have my bison pin on. It's Bud the bison, which is short for red bud, which is, of course, our state tree. But it's a silly name for a bison, but he's okay with it.